Okay, my friends. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. All right. Yeah. Not a bad day. Not a bad day. Not a bad day for those trading Neo so far. Neo Agent. With the new human in the loop mode. We're gonna talk more about that. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Steven and Avosani and Johan, Emil. Welcome. I'm just having a little midnight express. I mean, it's not midnight, but it feels like that. If the music is too loud, I expect to hear something about it. Hello guys, welcome to the live stream. Okay. Welcome Matt and Mikey. We're just getting started here. Oh man, coffee. I mean, it's great and all, but I do appreciate like a good ice caramel latte. You know, they had some really good ones you could get while I was living in Bangkok. There was some really good coffee at the time. Now today I'm playing a private playlist, so I don't know how hard YouTube is gonna hit this with copyright claims. So I'm also recording this. I'm also recording this one. I have a feeling, fuck, we have to be careful about what we say on YouTube. We really have to be careful. I see people getting banned left and right for all kind of things. So yeah, we love YouTube. It's a great platform. They never censor. They are, you know, the greatest video streaming company in the world. They do humanity only good. No, I'm joking, but we need to think about alternatives, right? I think Elon Musk's new platform X, Twitter X, whatever he calls it, I think it looks good. I think that's where we're going. I think that's where everyone is going. All right, well, here we are. I know we launched Nero last week, and I do know that maybe there was some expectations, and it came out. It also started out very well. We traded AUD CAD and AUD Singapore doll. It went well, and then it just stopped. And that's because the market is in a very unique state right now. It's in a very special place right now, and we can already start to see that unfold. So, is it lacking? Maybe. Let me know if the stream is lacking, because it also looks weird here. Hang on. Okay, let's try something. CPU is fine. Okay, alright. Let me know if it gets a little better now. Hard lag. Rumble. Yeah, rumble. Okay, guys, let me know if it improves now. I have turned off the... Okay. Let me know if it improves now. Let me know if it improves. No? Same? Okay, I think we're gonna have to restart the stream. Speaking of restarting. So let me know, you guys still seeing lags? I think you are. What is going on? Is this like real time? Okay, we just need to fix the music then. Then we can go. Alright. Alright guys, let's get very well. Okay, well. Cool. That's fixed. Okay guys, you know, it's so good that I have like 15 people all telling me it's fixed, so we know it works all around the world. Oh! TJ says it's still lacking. I think it looks okay. I'm not getting any warnings anymore. It looks like it should be okay. Music is loud. Okay. Oh yeah, it's all loud. Hang on. Okay. Oh boys. Okay, I think we're okay. Let me know if this is that should be it. Okay, this should be the sweet spot. So I'm just gonna go from here, boys, and then you can let me know. Well, I don't really know what to go about. You know, like we just got filled 3 positions on this 1 minute here. I mean, it's really good. So okay, what is there to talk about? Okay, so let's follow the journey. Where did we start? What happened, right? Going into May, we launched Nero, right? We launched Nero going into May, which was revolutionary because it was an improvement of the original X mode, right? So if you remember, I'm not sure we have it anymore, but if you remember X mode, then you know that this was an algorithm we've been working on for quite a while, for years actually, right? And we tried to develop different strategies, Sona, and all this kind of thing. And what we found out in the end was that the reason, like, the trades were good. We could get a 75% win rate even with just the X mode algorithm. But the problem where we were losing was when stop losses were being taken out in the market, like here, where the stop loss just got taken out and then the market continues up. So what we had to do was we had to come up with a better algorithm, a real-time algorithm that could, much better give us an understanding of what's happening in the market right now. And to figure this out, to create this, during the the research phase of figuring out all of this is really where I stumbled upon, and I started really deeply understanding financial markets, not only financial markets, but really the universe and life. And that's really when it started, things started going totally whack for me, totally cook, no point of no return, like I have always felt that this society was, borderline fraudulent, didn't fit in, didn't like it, and it was very, very clear I was very, very different than other people. But you grow up and you just go about your life, and then time passes on, and you just accept it for what it is and just understand the universe and your life as it is. But it turns out there is so much more than we can even imagine right now. There's so much more to life than we can even imagine. And it's not about the cars. It's not about the money. It's not about that stuff. Now that's the flashy stuff, and that's what they have programmed society to want. So we will fit into this construction of society that we live in today. But once you get it, once you buy that nice car and you see your neighbor has a nicer car or has a nicer boat, I mean, you know, then you want that, and that's just not a healthy life, right? That's not a healthy life. Anyway, I don't know why I was really talking about this, but the point is that I really, during the development of Nero, I really profoundly started asking myself questions about, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, seriously, what the fuck is going on? I just, you know, at that point, I thought we just, you know, humans living on planet Earth, maybe we're the only life in the universe, something, you know, the basic understanding. But as we kept going deeper and deeper, I started realizing, like, hey, wait, there's something going on here. There's something going on here that I can see clearly now with Nero that tells me that we're living in a construct, we're living in some sort of simulation, and there's something totally wacky going on, right? So this is what I learned. And then I kept digging down that hole, I kept going down that rabbit hole, and we made Nero and we launched it, right? And I made a quick academy for you guys to understand how you should trade, you know, splitting your entries across the different time frames, the different buying algorithms, the targets of, you know, individually each market, you know, take profit, break even, whatever, get in, out fast, just trade the market, and so on. And shortly after, I had another revelation, which was really taking our real-time trend detection technology and scaling it down, operating on frequencies much lower than we have ever done before. And once we cracked that and we combined that with, you know, X mode algorithm, basically the Nero algorithm, the bands, right? Once we put that together, it was just like fucking magic. Incredible, just incredible. And then we launched it. And you guys, you know, you didn't really know how to use it in the start, and you know, you had to learn it, and you know, you were making all the same mistakes that I was making prior to launching it, right? Because there's so many things I had to figure out. How does all this, you know, work together? How does it fit together, and so on? So that was quite a journey. But the whole point of it was that we all realized very fast that as a human, you cannot just sit in front of the fucking screen and just move your entries around and your stop loss. And so it's like, it wasn't humanly possible. I realized this pretty fast. I was like, it's not reasonable to ask people to do what I'm asking them to do. It's not humanly possible. People are falling asleep. People, you know, they risk too much, they buy too much, all of this, you know, it's not humanly possible. And that's when I realized that it's all a scam. There's literally no manual trading strategy that's gonna work long term. Not because of the strategy, but because of the one executing it. Because you are human. You will fuck it up. It's guaranteed. And the problem is, once you fuck it up like just a little bit, it's gonna snowball into a massive fuck up. Like you're gonna lose your entire account, and then you're gonna take out a fucking loan, and you're gonna lose that. Then you lose the house, you lose the wife, you lose the kids, and it's fucking GG, you know. And that's the whole point. This is what happens to people. So very fast, I realized, okay, this is just, you know, it's not gonna work. And I went back into, you know, our development phase with the team, and we started working. I was like, right, we gotta put a bot together. Somehow we gotta put a bot together that can do this for people, right? And meanwhile, you guys were getting to know Nero mode manually. Oh, no. I was trying to switch song because this is not a good song. There we go. And you guys were learning all along the way how to trade it manually, and there were some good results. But I also know what happened to people, which is they took too much risk, because it's so tedious with all the entries that you gotta keep updating and staying awake and so on and so on and so on. But after a while, it seemed like people actually managed to get some very good results. Some very good results. I'm really happy to see. And that's the whole point. The whole point was to get people actual results, not just you know, the usual you know, temporary results that gets taken from you again, right? So that's very good. And we worked it took about, well, yeah, it took since May until August to basically get an initial version of Nero. There was all this research, there was also the design, there was the planning, there's the backend functionality. There's like, you know, there's all this stuff you gotta make, you know, you have to make work, right? Oh, look at that, TP's just hit on USD CAD. Isn't that lovely? And that brings us to where we are today. So we've been working on this, and during the development of it, and we also had to test it, and we figured out like what is the problems, what is the problem, why can't we run it all the time, how do we need to adapt to the market, and so on. And this yeah, this is hard stuff. This is high level quantitative, you know, calculations and ideas that has to be tested and back tested again and again and again and so on. So what we realized during this was that, okay, hey, you know, this is maybe going to be a little bit harder than we thought. So what I'm talking about is when we're trading these financial markets, right? When we're engaging with these financial markets, all of them are going through their own little life, okay? They have their own little thing going on. They all have their own unique properties. They all, you know, every market is different, right? So they all have like a little personality, if you will. They have like a configuration. They have like a, yeah, like a personality essentially, right? And oh, look at that, more take profits. Okay, so what we discovered was, if each market is so different from each other, well, some of them are, we also need to treat each market individually. And if you remember, when we launched Neural, we had these predictive forecasting, and it was the same thing we're going over. It was like, are we making a general model? Are we making individual models? And it's very clear for me now that the individual models is the way to go. So that's kind of what we have reached at this point. Like, what we have managed to do is to build a general market profile that the Neural agent can trade across all markets, and it works, and it's good, it's great. It's just that it's not trading all the time because it's very conservative. So the automated strategy that Neural agent ships with, it really doesn't trade as much as people probably would like. And that's because that if you are making a broad trading strategy that should work across 50 markets at the same time without doing individual configuration for each market, then you need a pretty broad general profile configuration around that market that can run it, right? So that's where we're at right now. What we have built is essentially the first fully automated strategy that works across all the markets. It's just that it doesn't trade as much as you want, right? So what we need to solve is, of course, so it can trade the rest of the time at the whole, you know, preferably at, you know, any given time, right? So what we have right now is that we solve the drive. And the drive is essentially these moves in the direction with the trend. And these drives are each drive is unique, okay? So if you imagine this, right, this here, this is August 8, 9 o'clock until August 8, 18 o'clock, so it's about 12 hours. So what happens here is, in this market, is like individual to that market. But the general aspect of how you have a big drive, like an aggressive buyer in this specific market configuration, like this specific market environment, is not unique, okay? So the point is that we need to build a model, and this is what we're doing. We're building a model that adapts to each market and each drive in the markets on all the time frames, all the way from 1 second up to 1 week, right? And yeah, this is quite a quite a project, you know. It's quite a project. I think we already come really far to crack it. And the whole point is that the ultimate strategy right now, it only trades this specific drive. It doesn't trade anything really after it. And what we need to do is we need to solve, so it trades also the tail and the capitulation. And all we need is just time. All right, so how do we figure out each market profile and how the new agent should trade for each market? We're gonna borrow a page out of the Google book. Maybe you guys know reCAPTCHA, right? Where is this stuff? You know this one, right? Everyone knows this tag, right? Okay. So what Google has been doing is actually use humans to train their machine learning network to detect traffic lights and whatever they put there. Sorry, it's just my it's my cat allergy. I just think all good. The point is that Google has been using humans for years to train their fucking machine learning network to detect traffic lights, airplanes, bridges, bicycles, whatever. And I always felt like a fucking human just being used when I had to complete these, you know. Now, I'm not planning to use you guys to the same degree, but you get the point. You will set a navigator, and from each market that you deploy the human in the loop technology on, you will help us shape that market profile. All right. And this is, of course, you know, this is not like a beginner task. I'm not, you know, it's not a beginner task. You need to have some kind of advanced knowledge. But if you have been in Breakfree Trading for a few months or even years, like some have, you are very advanced in terms of your ability to read the market already. And what we need is advanced people to read the market, configure the new agent for that market, and then run and see how it does, and then stop it if it, you know, needs to be stopped. Just like when Tesla is testing their auto driving technology, they also have a human, you know, ready to take over if it's doing something crazy. So that's what we're going into now. We're going into a collaborate mode where everyone is going to help each other to build the best profiles. And of course, the end game is to make all of this technology completely free and accessible for everyone. So that is what we're going for here. This will be free. Why will it be free? Because money doesn't matter. It's not real. It's just that the people running this world, running the governments around the world, and you know, the elite and so on, they have enslaved us into using their goddamn payment system, and we have to pay to live, basically, right? This is gonna go away, and money is not gonna exist in the future. It really will not exist in the future, and you will realize why. Once, hang on, I gotta blow my nose. 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Keeps you from being ideal.
Ah, my bad, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So what I was saying, it's such a shame because you know, I had some really good stuff. It was really good. It was really good insight. Okay, let me try again. Let me back up. My point is that the place where we are going is that there will be no need for any money at all. Okay? Once a society grows and evolves enough, you realize that money is completely stupid. It makes absolutely no sense. Any advanced society has resources for all their people, have jobs for all their people, they have stuff for people to do, they have people to help them feel fulfilled and live a good, healthy life. Okay? Once you get to a certain point of advanced society, it's you're not an advanced society if you're not providing for literally everyone with all the advanced technology and resources that your society has acquired. And what we're doing is proving that these financial markets are the evil itself that destroys humans from within without them even knowing it. It is the single, I cannot think of anything else in the world where you can lose money or you can lose your health or your health, your family, your friends, your money, everything that you have. I don't know anything else in life you can lose as fast as through trading. It is insane. There's no limit. You can destroy yourself. No one gives a fuck. The government not gonna care. They don't care. I mean, they actually would be happy if you destroy yourself, because then you're gonna get sick and you're gonna need their help and you will just stay enslaved, right? The problem is we live in their society. We're born into this world where money is a necessary product that you have to use in order just to survive in the society. If you don't use the money, then you're not going to be a part of society. And everyone that's just born into it are just slaves. They're just brainwashed. Think about it. When you grow up from an age from 0 to 7, what happens? In those first 7 years that you live, you literally download information from the current society and the way that it's put together, and that shapes your world. So everyone that's born into this crazy world that's ruled by the elites that control us through, money, debt, and these diseases and these unhealthy, poisonous foods and all this fucking shit they're doing. Like, what the fuck is going on? It never made any sense to me. It never made any sense to me. I never understood why. I thought it was just because people were stupid. I thought it was just a byproduct of human evolution that all this evilness happened in the world. And then I realized it's not that case. It is by design. They are forcing it. They want this to happen, okay? So what we're gonna do with Neural Agent is that we're gonna wake people up, okay? We're gonna wake people up. We're gonna show them that financial markets is a scam. It's a scam that operates on a single strategy, which is just to do market making and extract money from, the people trying to gamble in them. We're gonna highlight this, and then we're gonna give people the tools to fight back and take money back from the financial markets, freeing their mind in the process so they certainly can see the truth of what's actually going on in the world. Because once we take care of people's debt and all the problems that they have, so they no longer are so clouded in their mind that they can't think anymore about what's going on around them, because how can you think? How can you resist? How can you resist when you're trapped in debt and you're eating poisonous food that makes you feel bad? There's fucking fluoride in your water and in your toothpaste, and there's just like poison everywhere. Even when you go to get healed from fucking cancer, they fucking nuke you with radio, like chemotherapy just to destroy the cancer and the rest of your entire body, so the cancer come back and just take all of that dead cells and just absorb it. It's so stupid, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious it's a scam. Pisses me off. They pissed me off so much. They really have pissed me off. So we're gonna fix this. And just think about how fucking great it's gonna be to fix this and kick these people out. all these evil guys. And once they are done, these guys, they are going straight to hell. Not for eternity, but they're going straight to hell, and they are gonna feel karma, and they're gonna feel the pain that have caused everyone else in the world. Oh man, I know I'm just talking of, I mean, I don't really know what to say about, you know, trading. I don't have to do anything anymore. It's just doing it for me. It's so nice. But I really think we need to understand that there's a deeper meaning here. And this is coming alive right now. Do you understand? Many have lived tens or hundreds of lives before on planet Earth. But none of your lives have been in a time of enlightenment where you had the access to a phone, and you could just pick up a phone and you could literally just go read for yourself and use your fucking mind to think. Just try to think. Like just look at the history. Go read it all. Start putting it all together. Every time there's some information you don't know, Google it, search it. Okay? Every time there's something you don't understand, go down that rabbit hole, figure out what it means, come back to where you came from, and then keep reading. Because there's so much for us to understand right now that we have never been able to put together before in any of our previous lives. So this is a very special time to be alive, to get to experience this. It's fantastic, you know. I really think it's exciting. I think I've just been talking 30 minutes about this stuff, guys. So look, let me check the chat. I bet you guys have some questions or something about. So hang on, let me just look. Long story short, financial markets are evil. Neural agent is gonna kill them. It's gonna free the people. It's gonna free their mind. Okay, this is what we're building together. Okay, and what I need you guys to help me build now is to help build the individual market profiles for each market, so we can figure out exactly what kind of parameters that needs to be adjusted around the markets to create the most, you know, efficient strategy for that market, right? So this is what you can help with. I'd love if you guys could help with this stuff. Okay, now let me look at the chat. All right. I'm muted, yeah. Oh, there's a lot of chat. Well, guys, it's so exciting that there's so many people here, just listening to me. Look, I wasn't talking about this stuff for 6 months ago. I really wasn't. I do realize it's totally wacky and so on. I accept that, and whenever I talk to people about it, it's like, yeah, I don't get offended if you look at this stuff and you're like, that's fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I would have said that to myself like 6 months ago. I would have said to myself, but you know what else I would have said to myself is, go look for yourself. Go read for yourself. Put together your own conclusion of what have happened in the history, because I know what you will find. You'll find the truth. And once you start understanding that, that's where you start to wake up. It's a incredible thing. All right, questions, actual questions. Let me have a look here. Okay, the muted chat. Yeah, that's funny, guys. How long this Mark wanted to take bets on how long it lasts. It's funny. Okay. Mustafa, I think if neural agent is taking a trade not advanced, then it's not updating in real time for some reason. Maybe you turn it off, or I don't know. Try send a screenshot in the inner circle chat. You want to hear something cool? I figured out what the pyramids are for. It's fascinating. Essentially, the pyramids were built pointing exactly, perfectly to Sirius, which is the brightest star we have in our sky, at least. And what they were able to do was basically extract power from the sun. That's why the pyramid had a gold. Let me see if I can find this. That's why the pyramid had this gold top before it was looted, right? It was simply for increasing the conductivity. It's fascinating what this thing could do. It's fascinating. Like, I really, I never really grasped pyramid. I understood it was like a incredible construction that we had created and so on, but I never really fully understood. I even went to Egypt. I went to Egypt 3 times. I went to see the pyramids 2 times. And it's incredible to see, but I didn't really get it. And now I get it. I'm like, oh, it's good stuff. It's very good stuff. People are gonna figure this out. That's why it's so exciting, because everyone is waking up. Okay, it's not everyone is waking up, and especially it's like there's other people who's been awake for many years and they understand what's going on. But what's happening right now is like the normal everyday person and so on as well is waking up. And what is that gonna lead to? Well, it's gonna, probably gonna overthrow a few governments or something like that. Okay, we got injury on USD CAD again. All right. Let me check the chat. Adriana says, do we need to be around a PC if we use HITL? HITL means human in the loop. So what you need to do is, if you're using HITL, you need to actively monitor the market, okay? You need to actively monitor the market, and you need to disengage from that market when it's no longer trending or when it's starting to pull back. So how do we know this? Okay, let's have a look. So there were so many people that wanted to trade Euro CHF. Now I'll show you guys this market, okay? I want you to have a look at the trend index here. This is very important. So look at this, right? You can see here, this doesn't really matter too much, okay? Like the driver, the 1 minute, even the 5 minute, 15 minute, it's not so important. What's important is really what's happening here in the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 day, and the 1 month. What we want is that we want this to be aligned. So it's all going red at the same time, or it's all going green at the same time. Why do we want alignment? We want alignment across the different time frames because it allows the mean reversion that builds up, that allows us to get good bounces like here, allows us to get good bounces from that build-up of energy that happens inside the market. When a market trends and it goes in one direction, like let's have a look at oil right now, right? So what's happening? Let's zoom out a little bit. So what you can see here is that since June, early July or whatever, oil has been on just a rip up, right? So what happens is that over this time, when the market just keep going one direction, is that there's a lot of orders and so on, executions and trades and market makers and inventory and all this kind of stuff that's traded along the way. And all of this is leaving basically traces, okay? And it's leaving traces, but it's also leaving energy stored inside the market itself. What kind of energy I'm talking about? I'm talking about the people that sold oil down here and has been sitting underwater on oil for a month. And all they're waiting for is the market to come back down to here or here or here or here or here or here or any point of here to get break even. So when it comes down there and they can go break even, what happens? They create a market order, right? Hang on, what happened today? Music, there we go. So it creates a market order. So this is inherent in some of the basic fundamentals of how orders convert into basically energy in the market is going to execute. And this is what happens with all markets. When they keep going, there's people who sold inventory down here. And this is how it works. Because otherwise markets just simply couldn't work this way. You know, someone has to sell down here. Someone has to sell down here. Otherwise, you would never get to here in the first place. So let's go back to Euro CHF. Because Euro CHF was a very good example. So what I want you guys to understand, you can see some of my, we might as well have a look at this, my drawings here. Okay. So what you need to understand about Euro CHF is that Euro CHF since 2008 has been in a downtrend for 20 years. 20 years? 15 years, something like this. For 15 years, Euro CHF has only gone one direction, which is down. So during all this time, it has accumulated so much mean reversion that even when it bounces, it's not much, right? Even when it bounces, not much. So the point is that we have a 15-year downtrend, okay? And in this 15-year downtrend, we have had tail events, meaning that after we have a move like this, right? This is basically a drive ending with a capitulation, and then you have the tail, right? This is the tail, the following move. And then we have some, I think this was the Swiss rank rate decision or some fucking bullshit. Fuck them, you know, it's a scam. Anyway, the whole point is that we have a drive, we have a capitulation, we have a tail, but the tail is not very strong. As you can see, the tail didn't even get up here. It only got to down here, right? So the tail actually proved very weak. And then after we had this second capitulation or drive, which was essentially a drive that turned into a capitulation. And you can already see it, right? Like you could see it leading into it that it would do something, right? Okay, then we have capitulation and we have a tail effect. Now the tail in this case was strong enough to kill this, what could you say? Let's remove this and let's remove this. The tail that came from this move was strong enough to break the existing mean reversion, the energy stored, and create a deviation in the 15-year downtrend, okay? 15-year downtrend, and then here we have a 5-year drive, basically, right? So we have a 5-year drive. Then we have a tail that lasts about 3 years, and then we have, again, it's just a tail. It doesn't actually create a new trend. It's just a tail inside the trend, right? So this is all happening inside an overall movement that's already going, right? So if you imagine, what is this sell pressure? What is this 15-year sell pressure that makes this happen? Well, it's probably the management of the euro, the European countries and all this, all this bullshit compared to the stable Swiss franc, right? Not that Switzerland is good in any way, but just think about it this way: Switzerland versus the euro, right? It makes sense that it's losing value, right? So the point is that over these 15 years, what the European Bank is doing is that they are selling actively to Swiss franc. So they are the 15-year seller that's consistently selling over this time, right? And they're still doing it. It's still inside this thing, right? So inside this 15-year downtrend that the fucking European Bank is creating, or whatever the fuck they're doing, we have these stronger moves and the capitulations and the tail effects, and then the capitulation and the tail effect, right? So it keeps going like this inside. And the whole point is that when we zoom out, we can also zoom in afterwards. So we can take all the data that we have from the long-term historical data of this market. We can use that to build the mean reversion market profiles. And that allows us, when we zoom in more and more, to understand what's going on. So 15-year downtrend, and then we had this temporary deviation that didn't last very long, and then we are back into another drive, right? And you can see this thing is still driving, had a is still driving down here. But inside of this, we have all of these short-term tail events that comes from, for example, here you can see this is a drive, then you have a capitulation, and then you have the tail effect, and then you have a new drive, and then you're gonna have, right? Then you're gonna have another capitulation, and then you're gonna have a tail, and so on and so on. This is what's happening, right? So now we understand that this market is trending down long term. This allows us to zoom in now. Let's just clean up a little bit here. Okay, so this allows us now to zoom in and look at this market and see, well, what is it actually doing here short term? Okay, so from September 2022, it's basically a year, right? We had about 6 months, we had a 6-month tail effect that then turned into a new drive. And inside of this drive, we have had, so now we go to 1 day, okay? Inside this drive, we have had another tail here, another drive, a capitulation event here, and then we had a new tail here, okay? And then we have another drive. And this brings us to present day, right? So you can see we have another drive and we are in the tail. Do you understand? So this is where we are right now. We are in the tail. So what is it telling us? It's telling us when we look at the monthly value and we look at the daily value that this long-term trend is actually coming to an end. Because that's what you can see here. You can see this trend has been fading for a very long time, specifically since 28 July, which is here, which is just where it broke the trend it was going, right? So it's really beautiful. Do you understand? Our tech can detect the beginning of the tail after the drive and the capitulation, and we can detect it extremely fast because we know what's going on, because we're running this on all the frequencies. Okay, so this tells us now that actually we have a long-term trend fading. The 15-year trend that was growing, which also had a 7-year downtrend inside and a 1-year downtrend. So right now this is fading, and what we don't want to do is that we don't want to get stuck in positions where we have a trend transition that might come soon. So this is why we didn't trade Euro CHF. Okay, let me just think. So if we go out here, okay? If we go out looking at the weekly here, what I would like to do is I would like to add 1 year and 10 year, okay? So right now we have 4 hour, 1 day, 1 month. I would like to add 1 year, 10 year as well here. So we could have the full picture without having to check the chart and zoom in and out like this. But we'll fix that. Don't worry, we'll fix that in the future. So the 1 month that we are detecting right now is showing us that this thing, you know, it might have room, and this could be a capitulation, it could start a move, you know, it could easily happen. And we just want to make sure that as long as the trend is not aligned, meaning that the short-term trends is not aligning with the long-term trends, meaning that the energy mix, the energy that gets created, the mean reversion that gets created in the financial markets from the trending direction, well, if these things are not the same direction as the long term and the short term, it just creates less favorable results for us. It's not that we can't trade it, it's just that it doesn't work with what we're doing, which is essentially a market making strategy that uses our proprietary technology as a hedge to keep us safe. Because in traditional market making, you would be hedging your positions, your trades when you're market making, okay? So this is the whole key to what we're doing. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left. I don't feel like I have answered much questions, so let's do questions. I'm not gonna talk any more alien stuff. I'm kidding. I'm always gonna talk alien stuff. But let's talk. So there's some asking, can I go over my existing HITL positions why I chose these? Okay. So let's have a look. So right now I'm active on oil, even though I have actually disabled this. I'll disable that. Why? Because right now I'm running a tiny account because I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna make this work on these small accounts. And oil is the contract sizes, the minimum contract sizes you need to buy on oil are unfortunately too big. So I have disabled that now. Okay, but I am on Euro AUD, and the reason I'm on Euro AUD is because it looks just fine. We have a good long-term trend established, and it looks to be building. So this is all looking fine to me. I'm happy to trade this market. CHF JPY, I'm not trading this market right now. Why? Because you can see that you can see the 1 month trade is fading at the same time. You know, we're not fully aligned here. We're not fully aligned. We'll see what happens. But if you look at this market, you can see that it has really been going up for a long time, but it's also losing a bit of long-term strength right now. But we'll see. Like this, I would be happy to trade this market once it just gives us a little bit more confidence that it's going to keep going in this direction, right? Okay, AUD Singaporean dollar. AUD Singaporean dollar overall again looks good with the long-term trends. I'm happy to trade this. I really don't mind. As long as it's looking like this, we're all fine, right? Again, what I'm putting weight on is really the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the 1 day, that they are aligned in the same direction, and that they're not losing, they're not losing strength here on the monthly or the daily. 4 hour, is of course important as well, but what we really want is we want those long-term buying or selling algorithms to be active, like the European Central Bank example I gave. We want these guys to be active because they're the ones that are gonna bail us out if we get stuck underwater in positions, okay? By the way, how much have I made today? Oh, 2.7%. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. Again, the same goes for, honestly, I have double risk on silver USD and silver euro, and it's just because I wanted to make sure it was working. So I think I'm gonna take this USD off here. That's good. GBP AUD looks good. USD CAD, I don't know. It's for me, a lot of this is just about testing and making sure that it works like it's supposed to work. But overall, I'm very comfortable trading this market because the risk that we put on each market is calculated based on the current strength of the market. So if you have like a 15% market down here, it's not gonna trade very big positions compared to if you have a 60 or 80% market that you will see, it will come. We just gotta wait for it right now. Okay, so that's it. What I care about is the long-term history, the 15-year history, the 5-year history, the 1-year history, the 1 month history, the 1 week history, the 1 day, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minute, the 5 minute, 1 minute, in that way, right? In that order. That's what I care about. Okay. Ulysse is asking, any suggestions in the event that neo agents placing positions way over the max risk? Well, if that's the case, then it's because you got a small, you probably have a small account, and you need to be trading a single market instead of multiple markets. Okay, you cannot, if you have a small account, you cannot trade all the markets at the same time. You can see what happens here. You can see it uses the same order size for each position. It's completely wrong. Okay, it's not how it's supposed to be. It's not how it's supposed to be. So a single market, if you have a small account, or if you're happy, to play around, and if you're happy to risk, you can always go to risk and you can have a look. You can see what your risk looks like, and whatever you're comfortable with, it's just, you just have to accept that is what can happen, right? It's unlikely that you're gonna lose that amount, but you just have to operate and understand this is what can happen. Okay. Avalsan is asking, so how do neural boost companion? Well, everything that we're doing right now is gonna have to be applied to the crypto markets because that's where we're going. So what we're gonna do when this becomes free is that people are gonna have neural agent inside their companion app, and it's gonna be free to use. Okay. But before we can make it free, we really have to make sure that the company itself survives, so we can keep researching and we can keep working on this. If it was free right now, we wouldn't stay in business very long, and then no one could run a neural agent. We couldn't do any of these things. So while we're researching and discovering this technology and putting it together, yeah, it will remain and it will have a cost. Okay. All right, 9 o'clock, guys. We can talk about some more pyramid stuff if you want. Joking. I'm not joking. Okay, keep the questions coming, guys. So you can see this market, for example, USD CAD, it's very different, right? It's very different. It's not. It's really just stable, and I guess this is because that the U.S. government and the Canadian government is in cahoots with each other. But you can see that this is not the same situation as we just saw on EuroCHF. This is a very different situation, right? And if anything, it's actually going upwards, right? You can actually see this is curving up. So I'm happy to, I'm okay to trade this market. I'm okay to risk on this market. So Mark asks, can I explain what HITL is in more detail? HITL means human in the loop. It's how we describe technology where human is overseeing machine learning or automated machinery, right? So it's like you're supervising what it's gonna do. By default, neural agent don't run with HITL. By default, neural agent runs with his own trading strategy, which is very conservative but also very safe. And this is of course very good, but there's also a lot more money to be made from all this volatility, trading the tail, trading the capitulation, trading the drive, which the current default strategy just doesn't cover. And that's why we released Human in the Loop, HITL. So HITL gives you the opportunity to deploy the neural strategy that we taught in May and in June, and deploy it manually on any market, well, most markets, and remain in control of the decisions for when it should stop trading and when it should be trading. And what you want to look for when you make these decisions is, like I just showed you, the long-term trend of these markets and how these long-term trends builds down into the current trends. Okay. Let me have a look at the chat here. I should zoom in. I can't see shit. With Golf by Anas is asking, with agent fee and 10% of our profits, what is the minimum account size? So you probably need like $1,250 account size minimum to make this work for you if you want to earn back the subscription cost. $1,500 would be better. $2,000 would be best. But to be clear, right? Like, look, right now we're just making this work, right? Like, this is gonna be a solution that scales globally. This is gonna be a solution that's gonna be used by thousands of people. I don't care about collecting 10% profit for you guys. Like, what I care about is building a long-term infrastructure and solution that works for everyone. So if you have $1 million, then you should also pay a little bit more. If you're making, $10,000 or $100,000 a day, right? So that's what matters here. What matters is building a solution that works long term and can scale no matter the kind of wealth that you're dealing with. So that's why we have the 10%. But the 10%, you don't need to pay the 10% until you have earned back the subscription fee. Okay, so once you have earned back the cost of subscription, that's where you will start paying for Nero. But it's not really about this, guys. I know I put some weight on it and so on, but it's more because I don't want us to get abused. I want to make sure we have good systems in place to make sure we don't get abused. Long term, like the fee is probably going to go down to 5%, then 3%, 1%, and 0%. It's going to be free. Like this will be free. That's what's going to happen. Okay, let me see. Next question. What's the maximum number of HITL markets recommended to apply the account for, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000 account? So if you're running a $1,000 account, you probably just want to trade a single market. If you want it, like if $1,000 is a lot of money to you, and it would hurt you to lose that kind of money, and it's important for you, if you see it as a investment vehicle that you want to generate safe returns on, just trade a single market. Just trade a single market with $1,000 and you're good. If you have $10,000, you can do a different way. You can take 10% of that. You can put it into an account and you can increase the risk a little bit and get a good feeling of how does it work, how does it operate. Apply it on several markets at the same time. See what it does, right? Okay, let me see. Does HITL also collect data that helps Neural Agent machine learning? Not right now, but it will. It will soon. It will pick up this stuff, yeah. Well, Ulysses, July is asking about some more such positions. Well, what can happen is that sometimes these contracts of the market that you're running on, like oil or whatever, they have a high minimum size, and sometimes it can get mixed up with the wrong symbol or something like this, or you have to trade a minimum size. I don't know. If there's any risk management issues, don't worry, it'll be fixed. We'll take care of that. We will take care of that, guys. I tried with a $100 account for a month and I had to take a break to try raise at least $1,000 so I can pay the subscription fee. Yeah, I know it's high right now, guys, but look, anytime a company builds new technology, it's always a high price in the beginning. It's just how it is, right? But we will get the cost down. We will get the cost down. I'm looking at what can we do to make Neural much more accessible. The manual version perhaps should be free so anyone can trade it manually. Then you can upgrade to the Neural Agent once you can afford it. Like, it's not about the money anymore. It's really not. It's like what we need to help people understand is we need to stop people from gambling. We need to stop people from doing short-term investments. We need people to earn money, put it safe in a safe spot, and then have a program that generate a continuous return for them, so they don't need to worry about their money growing or losing money to inflation. This is what we need to do. If you have a 30K account, you can trade probably 8 markets, 16 markets, something like this. Because what we do is there's a very big difference between a $1,000 account and a $10,000 account. Not in terms of like the amount of money, but in terms of what we can do in the markets, right? Yeah, how do I explain this? With a 30K account, you have so much margin available to you that you can easily trade 8 or even 16 markets at the same time. Because what we do is that when you choose all these markets over here, we merge them together into one risk profile. We send it to Neo Agent. So if you choose 8 markets, we take the risk that you have allowed the Neo Agent to take, the 15% or the 30%, whatever you set it to, and it takes all these markets that you have selected, and then it groups them and distribute the risk across all of them. So, not a problem. Not a problem. What matters is just trading good markets, you know? And if there's only one good market to trade, just trade that one. Cuba is asking, can you please say why we won't let all trades run till profit instead of break even? So the way it works is that, here's a good example, right? So right now we are filled on 1 minute, and we also filled on 5 minutes. If the market kept going higher, what we will do is that these underwater positions here will be set to break even, okay? So these positions set to break even, so the market is gonna come back, we're just gonna get out of it. That's the idea here. The idea is that as the market starts to move up, these previous orders down here, they're not really so relevant anymore, because the neutral price, the mean reversion, the average price of the market will already be up here. So if the average price is up here and your positions are down here, we don't expect to really make profit from these anymore. We just expect them to go break even. They might make profit or whatever, but it's not the point. The point is just to get out of them, because the 1 minute band will now be up here. If neutral is trading here, it means the 1 minute band is here, and it means that we are sitting in positions that has devalued essentially, and we need to get out of it because the market environment is different than we expected. Okay? Hope that helps. So Steve says, some people asked about the trade management rules, how to decide which trade to close at break even. Okay. I actually would like to show you some back test. I'm just not sure I really have what I need right now to do that on this right now. Okay. Let me see if I can make you an example here. Okay. All right. So, let me just answer these questions here real fast. So Tam is asking, can I try a Neo Agent with my IC Market demo account? Yes. You don't pay any profits from a demo account. There's no profits, you're not paying anything. You just pay the subscription fee, right? So it will never close the 1 minute band. Trades are negative. All trades are closed either in profit or break even. That's right, Emil. All trades are closed in at break even cost. So we include the cost to open the trade, and then we calculate the total cost, and we close close the position at that break even cost. Okay, let me see. Cuba, the reason that we want to close trade to break even is because, look at this here, right? What if you're sitting in positions from here, right? You had an existing trend, right? This is a drive, right? We have a drive here. Then we have a capitulation here. And then we have the tail. right? So if you were shorting here, which it was short, right? And then the market starts to move up, you can see that it's very messy. It's very messy, these trend transitions. You can see it goes up and then a big dump, goes up and a big dump, right? This is what it takes to kill, you know, reverse a trend essentially. And if we are sitting short here and the market, and we are underwater and the market comes down, it's just greedy, not just getting out of break even. And you know, there's no need to hold the trade because it's much better to just get out of it. And the reason it's much better to get out of it is because you have been underwater in this position for several days. The market has changed so much in valuation since the original calculations that the Neo agent did that it's no longer the same thing. It's no longer the same market environment as when we took the trade, right? It's completely different. And whenever we sitting in trades from a market environment that has changed a lot from a long time ago, we just want to get out of those because those trades are not optimal. The optimal trades are these trades that happen really fast, in and out. Because that's when we are reading the market in real time and anticipating what it will do and so on, and we can work with it. So that's the ideal position. The ideal position is in and out, not sitting in position long time. Okay, J God is asking, does Neo agent send orders to MT or does the Neo agent in a place the orders? Okay, so, what? Does Neo agent send the orders to MT or does the Neo agent MT place the order? So I have a VPS, MetaTrader 5 VPS that Neo agent is running in a MetaTrader 5 terminal. So it's just a navigator here. It's just like a remote control where I can control it from. Okay. Does HITL, Philip says, if HITL can collect data for machine learning, it's so overpowered. Every user will have it to learn. Yes. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really cool. Okay. Essa is asking, does HITL allow to enable trades in the top trending categories? Does it only allow to trade? No. The minimum requirement to trade any market is that the 1 hour to 4 hour and the 1 day is all trending in the same direction, like you can see here, here. This is what we want, okay? And the reason that this is what we want is because then the energy is aligned with how we are trading. So Mike is asking, so with the markets we have selected HITL, we keep them on until the trend changes. We just unclick that market. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And of course, the whole goal is to build an AI that can make those decisions, you know. And we are getting very close to that, you know. We're definitely gonna get that done. So that's what we're working towards. It's just, you know, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard because they have, no, as far as I know, no one has done it before. But yeah, we live in the time of AI. We have all this available to us. I think we're gonna get it cracked. All right, what's going on this? What's going on this silver trade here? That's a shame. So now you can see, right? Now you can see all these 1 minute positions here being set to break even, while we're still keeping the original TP. That's such a shame. We should not have missed that TP. And this is some of the stuff, you know, this is some of the fine details where we need to adjust, right? Because this shouldn't have been missed. This trade should have been done, and we should have been given another chance to take it up here now. So yeah, there's a lot to learn, guys. There's a lot to figure out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move more and more control into Navigator. So you can sit and adjust all these parameters yourself and find out what is best. we'll have like a global profile that you can just load, and we'll just run it for you as like a default profile. But then we'll also offer, you know, the option for you to specialize it. This is what the HITL mode is. It's basically you telling the agent, go trade this. I want you to trade this. Just go do your best to trade this, and it will go try to trade in the best way possible. Oh. Oh man, it's a long live stream today, huh? Alright, guys. Let's see if you have any final questions. And now, you know, feel free, if you're watching a trade and you can see it's close to TP, feel free to close it. Feel free to manually engage with open positions and close them in profit. Okay, that's totally fine. It's totally fine, because you can much better judge this than the bot can do. Okay, like that's the point. That there's some things that a human is really good at judging that it's hard to recreate with a bot. And then there's other things that the human mind is really bad at that the bot is really good at. What is the bot really good at? What is the agent really good at? It's really good to take care of like order management, place trades, get it done fast, being reliable. What is human good at? Human is good at patterns. We're good at finding patterns, seeing patterns. We're good at understanding the whole picture of a market and understanding what we should do in those situations. So we're not the same. So Emil is asking here if possible to change the risk per band. Yeah, we can do that. It's just you can't do it in the current version. But you can try to play around with the amount of positions on the amount of positions on a Neo agent, and see if that changes anything for you. But yeah, don't worry. We're seeing all of that. You know, we'll take care of all these issues that we have. We'll fix it. It's gonna be good, guys. Yes. My tiny account is running multiple markets, but it's really just because I'm trying to figure out how we make these small accounts work, like, and what is the problems, and of course, like what we need to do, and we already are doing this. But what we need to do is we need to take all the different markets, right? We need to take all these markets we have here, and then we need to put them into groups of correlated moves, meaning that these markets are essentially trading the same risk. They're essentially moving the same way, and then we need to distribute risk across those markets in the most efficient way, right? So if we take AUD, then we take all AUD pairs, and if AUD is trending, then we will distribute the risk on the best AUD pairs. And for example, if we have 1 hour risk on AUD CAD, we might be taking the 4 hour risk on AUD CHF if the market is going that way. Because inherently, all these markets are moving in the same direction. They're moving together. They're all synchronized. We can model this. It's coming. But what we want to do is we want to distribute the risk across all these different markets. So it's shared risk across the market groups. And it's my job to figure out how to make this work. But yeah, I think it's pretty good tech. I think we're doing really well here. I think we're doing really, really well here. I think we've come a long way now. I mean, we have definitely come a long way. But I mean is, you know, taking out the manual order execution, the order management, and all the risk calculation, all of the stuff that humans are very bad at. I think we're already gonna see incredible results from people this week, next week, this month. Oh, it's August, guys. It's gonna be September. And then it's almost end of the year. And then it's 2024. It's crazy. Alright, guys. That is it for me today. Oh, what is let's just have a look at. You can see if we had gotten out here, we could have taken trades again here and profited again, right? So it's about finding the stuff. It's about finding the stuff. I think what we're gonna do is that once the price gets down here, we're gonna put in a trailing stop. We're gonna put a trailing stop. So if the market starts pushing back, we're getting out. Jesus, it's working very well. Not bad. Not bad. Alright guys, it's been a blast. Thank you for coming to the live stream tonight. I will see you next week. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, all that stuff. But also, don't forget to meditate. Don't forget to look up ancient Sumerian history. All this good stuff, right? Oh, we're printing USD CAD as well. Alright guys, thank you for coming to the live stream. It's just beautiful. I'm really happy with this. It's just, you know, don't be deceived. You have to keep a close eye. I'm gonna make a video on this. Keep a close eye on these trend transitions. Don't get stuck in market that starts to fade, okay? Don't get stuck in these. Just if you feel like you're in some trades you shouldn't be in, just close them, okay? Don't worry about the short-term loss. What you need to build is your own confidence and ability to read the trend state of these markets and how it's evolving. And once you get that part right, it's much easier for you to decide which markets to trade and so on, and knowing when to stop. And if you really cannot make it work, then just wait. We'll take care of it. All right, guys. All right, my